Well, hello, welcome. I am so excited, guys, to welcome you to the Halftime Jumpstart Google Hangout. I am your host, Tiffany Bethia, author, speaker, mompreneur, and your spirit soul business coach. And guys, I don't know if you are ready, but we are in the third quarter for 2014. Can you believe it? I know it feels like for me, we just said Happy New Year, and now we are starting the second half of the year. Now, some of you may know this about me and some of you may not, but I am a huge basketball fan. Okay. As a matter of fact, I am a diehard Miami Heat fan. Now, don't let that turn you away from the video if you don't happen to be a Miami fan. But the point of me saying that was one of the things that I love slash hate about them is that they are really a second half team. So if you've ever seen the Miami Heat play, you know that sometimes they come out in the first half just a little cold, or they play just okay. But something happens magical when they go into the locker room and they come back out in the third quarter ready to kick butt. And a lot of times they win their games in the second half. And that visual comes to mind as we enter into the third quarter and the second half of the year. It doesn't really matter how you started, but it's really going to matter how you finish for 2014. Now, we're going to be here for about 30 minutes. I'm going to share some information, and I do want you to know that every now and again you're going to see me look down and reference my notes. See? So I don't want you to be thrown off, but I get excited, guys. I'm so fired up, and I want that energy to just come across through the screen. But I want to make sure that I say and I hit all the points. Is that okay? Okay. Now, before we really dive deep into the notes, as you see there in the Q&A on the video, there is a private Facebook group. And this is where I really want to interact more and dialogue by answering your questions, but also you're going to find another community of people who are watching this video, people who have participated in other classes and things I've done. So if you haven't taken the time to do so, please go ahead and join the group now. And then I want each of you to introduce yourself. Tell me who you are, where you are, and tell me and the group what you do. Why is that important? Because far beyond this class, guys, that community page is going to be there. You never know where your next referral is coming from. We are a community here. I posted the other day on my page that, new entrepreneurs build islands, but seasoned entrepreneurs build communities. And one thing I've learned over a few years in the journey is that when you first start out, you kind of figure you can do it by yourself, but after a while you realize the power in community and network. And so please go ahead and tap into that power now, so that as we meet people, we can send referrals your way. Tell us who you are before we dive in and really engage. So I am excited because I want to do a couple of things today. I want to refresh and re-energize you, and then I want to refocus. So we're going to deal with how do I get my energy built back up, and then what do I need to do to really close out this year strong. Okay. Now, for those of you who are new to any of my events or new to my voice, I believe in being very transparent. So everything I do, everything I share comes from a place of transparency. And so we're going to have real talk on this call, on this video. Was that okay? If that's okay, I want you to actually go in the group and say, that's okay with me. That is okay with me, Tiffany, because I want to have real conversation today. I believe that that's the only way that we're going to be able to move forward. Okay, so it's nighttime, the kitties are in bed, and dinner's been made, and now it's time to focus on what we need to do for the rest of 2014. Guys, are you ready? I think you are. Awesome. Okay. So the first thing I want you to do, if you haven't done so already, is get out your goals. The goals that you wrote down for 2014. Hopefully you came to the line and you were ready. You knew we were going to talk about those goals. Go ahead and get those goals out. Now, while you're doing that, I do also want to talk to those of you who can say, I didn't really write them down. I mean, they're in my head, but I didn't write them down. Guys, you are 80% more likely to actually accomplish, bring to life what you write down on paper. Okay, so I have all of my goals, my plans, my organizational chart here, and it's written down on paper because it provides a visual map for me and accountability. And you've got to have the same thing. So if you're on the line or you're here today and you're watching this tonight and you don't have your goals written down, no sweat. Say it's okay. I want you to take some time though. After this, the information you're going to get here is still going to be helpful, but I want you to take some time to actually go write down your goals. It's going to be so important for you to do that. Okay, so I want to do something before we dive into looking at our goals and what we've done and what we still need to do. Are you ready? I want you to actually take in a deep breath and release the deep breath. Now, I know there's always one, whenever I do these kind of things, even in person, there's always got to be one that's not going to do it with you. So I can see you, yes, and I know you didn't do it. Come on, do it with us. I want you to take in a deep breath and release. Now, why is that important? Because before we can really go forward and talk about moving into the next goal, next quarters of the year, we've got to be honest about the first 2 quarters of the year. Now, I've been an entrepreneur for a little bit. I know a little bit about what's happening right now. So, possibly you're in one of 2 places. Some great things have happened in the beginning of the year, so you're already ready, you're fired up, or the year didn't necessarily start like you wanted it to. You're looking like the Miami Heat, and you need to come out stronger in the second half. Regardless of where you are, we're going to release 2 things, okay? We're going to release the negative and we're going to release the positive. You said, what? Yeah, I'm going to explain. We're going to release the negative energy and all that has come with what happened in the year that we didn't necessarily care for. So all of the failed projects, all of the negative customer experiences, all of the calls that didn't go like we wanted them to, and everything that has happened in your business that really wasn't congruent with what you wanted for the first 2 years, I want you to just release it and let it go. It was the first half. We are starting fresh. We've got a new half. So you're getting a fresh 12 right now as we go into the 3rd quarter. And if you're not a basketball fan, you're probably like, what do you mean? 12 minutes are going on the clock, guys. We're going into the 3rd quarter, okay? You're getting a fresh 12 minutes. So forget what happened in the first 2 quarters. Okay, it didn't work like you wanted it to. You didn't have the customer amount that you wanted or the revenue that you wanted to generate. Guess what? We can start fresh. And the thing is, you've got to start fresh. If you really are going to see the results that you're looking for, you can't carry the negative energy or the frustration from the first quarters. Here's the thing. I talk to new clients and old clients all the time, but particularly when I'm meeting with new clients and I'm sitting down to say, how's it been going and looking through what's been happening, not only are you getting the facts, but you're getting the energy that comes along with that information. So it's not just, well, this is what happened, this is what we did, these are the numbers, but it's also the feelings that are tied to it. Listen, I get it. This is your business. This is your baby. I feel the same way about both of my businesses. They're like my children. So when things aren't going well, it affects me in a negative way. But in order to really, really build up the energy I need to attract the clientele and the partnerships that I need, I've got to have the right energy. And the same is true for you. So whatever you're feeling about what happened in the first quarter, you got to get real about it. If the money wasn't quite what you wanted it to be in the first 2 quarters of the year, you got to address the feelings that, man, that was frustrating for me. That was difficult for me. Whether this is your full-time, your part-time, or whether you're just at the beginning of the journey, you've got to be real about this is what I'm actually feeling so that you can release that energy, build up the energy you need. Because here's the thing. People are not only going to be drawn to your product or service, but they're really drawn to you. So you've got to be in a space where every day you're putting out the energy necessary to attract those who really need what you have. Okay? So we've released the negative, but then we're also going to release the positive. Now, I was with you when you first said release the negative, Tiffany, but I don't understand what you mean by release the positive. This is what I mean by that. Sometimes, I always say this, it's not only possible to get stuck in failure, but it's very possible to get stuck in success. So it's more of a temptation to get stuck and stagnant when the first 2 quarters did go like you wanted them to go. You know, I can say that this year I'm on track for my goals for 2014, and some of you watching this are in the same place. Maybe the first 2 quarters weren't tough. Maybe they were fantastic. You really started out strong and everything was going like you needed it to. I'm in that same place this year. But sometimes we build monuments in those moments. Now, I want you to post that in the group. If you like that, I want you to post, don't build monuments in those moments. Don't build monuments in those moments. It's okay to celebrate the successes, and we should. We got to take time to say, you know what? I closed X many of the new accounts. This is wonderful. This is going fantastic. This is exactly how I foresaw it going. But then, instead of building monuments in those moments, we got to get up and go chase new moments. And so some of you on the line, or some of you watching rather, guys, you can tell I'm used to doing calls, right? Some of you watching this started out the year strong. Everything was going wonderful. I don't want you to build monuments in those moments. And the story for your 2014 be, well, I closed this account in January, or I got this new client in March, or I hosted this event in May. Well, we got 6 more months to go. Let's go chase some new moments. So you had some good stuff happen. Woohoo! Woo! Come on, celebrate with me. Woo! That was a celebration, right? There we go. Celebration done. Finito. Okay. We've released. We're starting fresh. We've got 12 new minutes on the clock. Okay? And so nothing good has happened and nothing bad has happened. Just a score, which is feedback. Maybe that's your revenue. Maybe that's the amount of clients that you've gotten. Guess what? Time to start fresh. So we've got to move into the 3rd quarter intentionally starting fresh. Okay? You ready? Good stuff. Now let's look at those goals that you pulled out by now, or maybe you started jotting some down as you're watching this. Okay? If you are just starting fresh with your goals, I want you to post that in the group and tell us who's just starting fresh. I want you to post, I'm starting fresh, if you're just now writing out your goals for the year, okay? If you already had your goals, fantastic. Let's take a look at them. One simple question I want to ask you. One question. Are you halfway there? So we know that our goals have to be SMART, and the M is measurable. And obviously, when it comes to your business goals, they're measurable. I know for me, there is a certain revenue that I plan to end the year at that mark. And it's measurable. And so I can look now and say, oh, okay, we're getting there. What about you? What are the measurable marks that you've set for 2014? Now, if you're new and you're just getting started, maybe your business is just to get off the ground, right? Or if you've been doing it for a little bit, maybe it's a certain amount of units that you want to sell, events that you want to host, clients in your database, revenue that you want to be generating on a monthly basis. Are you halfway there? If the answer is yes, fantastic. We're going to talk about how to keep moving forward. If the answer is no, we're also going to talk about how to re-strategize. Okay? So, are you halfway there? Now, let's look at the X's and the O's. I want you to actually take out a piece of paper if you haven't already. I think you're sharp. I think you already got paper out, or maybe you've got your iPad. I'm kind of old school. So even though I'm young, I'm kind of old school. I still like to write things down, but if you are utilizing your iPad or your technology, great. I think that you're already taking notes, so let's do that. I want you to write on one side improvements, and on the other side, I want you to write celebrations. Can you see my hand? There we go. Improvements, celebrations. And I want you to draw a line down the middle, and we're going to talk about both. Okay? We're going to start with your improvements. I want you to really, really in this moment, take a moment to just sit and reflect. What are the areas that I could really, really have improved upon this year so far? Here's a couple ideas I can give you from talking to my clients and looking through my own business. Follow up, maybe one. Man, I met a lot of good people first 6 months of the year. Did I really follow up with each one of them accurately in a timely manner and in a way that was able to convert and bring results? I don't know if you're like me, and you've got so many different hats you're wearing. Sometimes you're busy. And before I really started using my lead management system like I really needed to, sometimes people were just falling through the cracks. So follow up. Is that possibly when? Maybe planning. Maybe you didn't even have the real goals mapped out for the year. So maybe the idea for you is to really plan a little bit better. What about tracking? So maybe you had some good things happening, but you weren't really tracking. How many people were coming through the door? How many customers do we really have in this revenue? Maybe tracking, okay? So those are just a couple of ideas that I want you to really take a moment and jot down. What are the areas I need to improve upon? Maybe it's consistency. Maybe you've been using social media and you've been doing everything you learned to do, but you posted once every blue moon, or just kind of sporadically, but didn't really have a real consistent plan. So maybe it was consistency. Those are just some ideas, but you know the ins and outs of your business, what you need to do to flourish and to stay flourishing. What are the areas that you really need to improve upon? I want you to jot those down. Now, if you need some help, post in the group. I want you to post, I need help, I don't know. Or if you want to be transparent and share in the group, I just shared a couple of mine. I can tell you that each one of the ones I shared were areas where, okay, I did it some, but we need to improve upon it. And those are some of the things I want to improve upon for the next quarter of the year. I'm looking to hire more staff that will allow me to follow up a little bit better and be more consistent with some of the tasks that I need to do. What about you? I want you to go ahead and tell us in the group now. These are some of the areas where I need to improve. The other powerful thing about that is maybe there's something you need. Maybe there's something we can help you with. So if you tell us in the group, I'm looking for something that can help me follow up. Well, I can give you some ideas about follow-up or lead management. So post in the group right now and tell us specifically what it is you think you need help improving upon, and let's dialogue about it. We're going to post back and tell you what ways we can help you. Now, as we're doing this, as you're posting in the group and you're telling us the ways that you can improve, and we're all sharing ways that you can improve on those things, the one thing that I always want to say is use these as markers, but don't let them beat you up, okay? So the things that you didn't necessarily do to 100% or didn't maximize on, okay, you got a fresh 12. You got a fresh 12, so don't let them lord over you to the point where you still don't do them. I've had moments and times, just again, being transparent in business, where I was so frustrated about something I didn't do well, and then I looked up and I was still so frustrated that I still wasn't doing it well. It's only in those moments where I said, okay, man, I got to do better with X, Y, and Z, that I used it as a marker, but I shook it off and said, okay, I'm going to do better. So use them as markers, but don't be tied so emotionally to it that you don't allow yourself to improve. Particularly if your income from your business is bringing in at least 50% or more of your revenue. Full-time in what I'm doing, but maybe you're part-time, or maybe it's enough that it's some significant income. So you really have motivation to fix it. Don't allow the frustration from the revenue, or gosh, I need to pay my bills, or we got to get this money rolling in, to hold you hostage, because that will also not allow you to improve. And I know for myself, particularly 2012, which was really, really a very difficult year of business for me, I was so emotionally tied to the failure, or to the areas that I needed to improve that I would look up and so much time had passed, I still hadn't improved upon it. So whatever it is that you need to improve upon, your technology, your staffing, your financial allocation, whatever it is, make sure that you untie emotionally from it long enough to get the answers, to get the solutions so that you really can move forward. Okay? Now, let's look at your celebrations. I started with the improvements on purpose because sometimes we go for our wins first and then go for our losses. And by the time we get to our losses, we forget the great feeling of the wins, right? But let's talk about your celebrations, because here's the thing. We do need to stay tied emotionally to the wins. So I need to release those wins. I need to not build monuments in those moments so I can go chase new moments. But I need the energy and the excitement from it. So I know for me, I've closed some big accounts this year. Woo! I've got some great new clients I'm so excited about. We just got some good energy happening in our business. So excited. Both businesses are really doing well. I want to keep that feeling because that's what I need when I get the no's, when I meet people who it's not a good fit, it's not congruent with business. I need to stay tied emotionally to the wins and to the fact that, ooh, that's okay. We're doing good. We're on track. We're moving. So I want you to stay tied emotionally to the celebrations. So write them down. And I don't care if it's just one celebration. Maybe the celebration was the fact that you got started. Write that down. The celebration could be that you're investing in yourself. And you're doing that now. You're here. Only the cream of the crop takes a time at 9 o'clock at night or whatever time it is where you are to watch this and to participate. Listen, cream only rises to the top. So the fact that you're investing in yourself and your business this way, that's a win. That's a celebration. Write that down. Because every time you put yourself in a place to learn new information, you are putting yourself in a position to grow yourself and your business. So write that down. Okay? So I want you to share some celebrations in the group with us. What are some I see them rolling in. What are some celebrations that you have? Okay? And we're going to celebrate with you as they're coming in now. Whoop. This is my celebration, okay? Don't laugh at my celebration. Okay, this is my celebration. But I'm so excited for you, okay? So, how do we take those now? We got the improvements, we got the celebrations. What do I need to do with them now, Tiffany? Let's talk real strategy right now, okay? In planning for your third and fourth quarter, you've got to take the celebrations and you've got to keep doing what has been working. What has been working? What are the X's and O's? What are the wins? Okay? So, I like basketball, so let's use the basketball analogy. If ball movement has been good in the first 2 quarters, keep the ball movement going. Listen, if you've been meeting people and you've been following up like you should, and that's been converting into sales, keep doing that. And take it up a notch. So, one of the things I learned from George Frazier, who is the master of networking, I was at an event, small event, and he was with us, and he was sharing about the way he builds relationships. So I started implementing some of those in my personal business and really investing more into the relationships. Just calling to check in, connecting people who I know this person and this person can really benefit each other. And it has no benefit for me other than to enjoy watching the two of them connect. That is something that I implemented in my business in the first 2 quarters that has been so phenomenal. I want to kick it up a notch. So I'm going to start really just being a business matchmaker and just connecting people where, oh, I met this brother and you know what, that sister, and what they do would be so awesome, or they can help move each other forward. So for me, that was a celebration, but I'm going to make it an improvement because I want to kick it up a notch. So now it's time to look at, okay, this is what I did in the first 2 quarters that worked, but I'm going to make it an improvement because I'm going to take it up a notch. I'm going to do it a little bit more, okay? And then let's look at the areas where you need to improve. First of all, you've got to recognize that you need to improve. May sound real simple, but my primary My primary income comes from working with entrepreneurs. So I know that sometimes we don't move on it because we don't recognize that it's absolutely necessary. And I want to talk to you particularly if your business is part-time or if it's just a hobby and you're like, oh, whatever, if it doesn't work, I still have my job. Here's the thing. You are changing the lives of your children, your grandchildren, generations that are unborn through what you're doing. Please understand the power in having the multiple streams. So maybe your business, maybe you aren't in our boat just yet. Some of us on the line who are full-time in what we're doing and we know it's necessary, but you need to recognize that it is an absolute need. And if you're ever going to have the time freedom or going to love waking up on Monday like some of us do, or really just enjoy your time, it's necessary that you take the incremental steps and do what you got to do to build your business. So stop treating it like a hobby, whether it's part-time, it actually is a hobby, or it is full-time. Recognize that you need right now. You need this moment. You need this halftime to look over the X's and O's because you have to finish strong for 2014. It's not something that is optional. You gotta do it. You must close strong. Are you with me? You gotta do it. So first you gotta recognize, you know what? I need to do this. I gotta stop playing with this. I gotta look at these goals and I just gotta make them happen. With me? Okay. Once you recognize that you need to do it, you got to stir up that hunger. I want you to put your hand on your belly and just rub it for a minute. Just rub it. Stir, and I'm so serious. It may seem silly, but sometimes that's what we need to just really, really get in the space that we've got to be in, okay? So stir up that hunger. Sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, self, this is the moment. Okay, fine. Maybe we didn't close the first quarter of last year, first quarter of 2014 or second quarter, maybe last year didn't end like we wanted to. You know what? This right here is my moment. And I had to look myself in the mirror and say, look, forget that stuff. It's over, it's done. Okay, those things didn't work. This is the moment. Right now is the time. You have to do this. There are people waiting on you, depending on you, who need you to show up in authenticity, in your best self now. They need you to now, right? Your customers, your clients, you don't just need them, they need you. They need what you have. They need the answers that you have inside of you. Get it out. So stir up that hunger. Get that passion back. Maybe you retired from the first 2 quarters of the year. Maybe, you know what? The things that didn't work just took some wind out of me, Tiffany. To be honest, I'm just a little tired. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt and the hat. But guess what? Now it's time to stir that passion back up. How do I do that? Talking to my clients really stirs up my passion so much. I mean, every time, and this is how I stay excited, because honestly, every time I talk to them and I see how I'm helping and what I'm doing with them, it motivates me to just keep going. I remember how much they really, really need me and that there are others out there. I was at a business mastermind last night and I was talking with a sister and someone that she met needs my services. I haven't even met them just yet, but knowing that exactly there are people out there who don't have good marketing, who have no idea how to grow their businesses, it keeps me fueled and funneled. Like, I've got to go, I got to find them, I got to help them. I'm not going to get them all, but I'm going to get my share of entrepreneurs who just need that. What about you? Who needs what you have? Who's out there praying and you have the answer for them? Let that refuel you. Still with me? Okay. If you're with me, I want you to post in the group right now. I'm still with you. I'm with you. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this and you can feel the energy just bubbling back up, you're getting re-fired up, I want you to post in the group right now. My fire is coming back. Come on, my fire is coming back. I'm ready. Okay, you're right. I got to let go of what happened. I got to get that passion back and go do this. I want to see. There we go. That fire is coming back. I love to see that. Okay, here we go. Then you got to get some accountability. Now, this has been something that has really helped me fuel my business and take it to the next level. Getting some accountability. Because here's the truth of the matter. Once again, new entrepreneurs are islands. Seasoned entrepreneurs are situated very comfortably in community. We know we can't do it by ourselves. We figured it out. We bumped our head long enough to discover, you know what? I really need help every day. Whether it's another entrepreneur, just telling me their story or encouraging me, or whether I'm having someone who will just keep asking me, how's that going? When's it coming out? What are you doing? Every time I, set a new goal or I have business plans, I sit down and give them to a group of accountability partners that I have who can keep asking me, what's going on with that? What do you need? How can we assist you? How can we support you? Because by yourself, let's just face it, may get it done, may not. And you may not even feel as bad if you let yourself down, but when you know there are other people counting on you, waiting on you, wondering what's going on, something inside says, you know what, okay, fine, let me get this done, for real, for real. So you've got to be real about your accountability. If you have not already shared your goals with an accountability team, go do that. I want you right now to write down the names of the people in your accountability team right now. I want you to do that. I'm going to take a moment while you do that. But really, I want you to jot that down on your note sheet where you're taking notes. And if you haven't already shared with them the updates for the middle of the year, I want you to do that. I want you to sit with them and say, this is where I am in terms of my goals. I have this many customers, or I'm doing this much revenue-wise, or I've got this many sales, and this is what I'm looking to work towards. And let them know that I'm building a plan and I need you to hold me accountable. I tend to get tired. I'm not always consistent, or I don't have enough staff, or whatever the challenges are, so that they can hold you accountable. Okay? The other thing that's important for you to do is now strengthen your network. Your net worth is going to be determined by your network. So no matter what the size of your network is right now, it's time to grow it. Where you are now, and the difference between where you are now and where you want to be, is people that you need to meet. I don't care how many I feel like I have a fantastic network. I have so many great people in my network, but I know that they helped me get here with the information and the support and the encouragement and resources they provided me. Now I've got to stretch into those future goals. And so do you. You've got to get out there and you've got to meet new people. Every day, you need to be trying to meet new people at least once a week. You need to be making some powerful connections that are going to help drive your business forward. Guys, you got to pardon me. I also sing. And I'm telling you, we had a conference at our church, excuse me, this past week, and we did a lot of singing. So my poor voice is woo! But nonetheless, we're good. So you've got to get out there and be intentional about meeting new people. Now, part of that may mean you've got to strengthen your elevator pitch. I know for me this year, that was something that I did. As I slightly rebranded, I had to rework my elevator pitch. Make it natural though, so that as you're meeting people and they're saying, oh, tell me about you, it's natural for you to say, well, hi, well, I'm a spirit soul business coach. I'm a marketing consultant, and I help people who have given birth to their dreams grow them. What is yours? Is it conversational? Is it natural? So that as you meet people, you can easily say, oh, I do this or I do that. Make sure that in your elevator pitch, you also identify the problem and the solution. So a lot of times I'll say, after I give that initial statement, I'll say to people, I've noticed I meet a lot of entrepreneurs or people who have started something, they wrote a book or started this business, but then I meet them a few months later, a year later, and they're having trouble keeping it going. That's where I come in. You've got to tell the world what problem you solve, who should look for you. So people who are looking to grow from where they are to the next place in business, they look for me, and they know to look for me. Why is that important? Because referrals are huge. I want you to write that in the group. Referrals are huge. Come on, write that. Referrals are huge. It's so true though, guys, because before I even had time, when I first started my business full time, before I even had time to get on social media and do all these great things, I was completely being inundated by referrals. People just knew what I did. They knew this problem I solved, and they would send me people. Some of the biggest accounts I have gotten have been from referrals. Okay? So you've got to know how to tell the world, this is who I'm looking to work with. This is who should come to me. Okay? That was a little bit of extra for you. That wasn't exactly in my notes here. So hope that was helpful. If it was helpful, let me know. Let me know in the group right now, was that helpful? Okay? So strengthen your network. Okay? Grow your list. Now, this kind of piggybacks perfectly off of what I was just talking about. Once you get your elevator pitch, this has been one of the things that I have been more intentional about this year, because I know as a marketing and business development consultant that your list is everything. If you've got a list and you know how to work it, you're going to always have business, okay? So now I'm hopeful that you have a lead management system. And if you don't, you need to call me for a consultation. I'm so serious. I can't spend a lot of time on that, but hopefully you have a lead management system where you are keeping contact with all of your clients, prospective clients, everybody who shows interest and comes in contact with your business, okay? You've got to now make sure that you intentionally grow that. So as I'm out and about, as I'm speaking, as I'm hosting different events, I'm intentional about growing my list. Why? Because over time, those that become suspects of your business and prospects will turn into customers. And the funny thing is, I actually experienced this on the reverse side earlier this year. So there was a company that I was following. I really enjoyed their webinars and their trainings and teachings. And honestly, I really never had any intention of buying anything from them. I think I just was like really enjoying the information, partnering with them, and that was sufficient for me. And I noticed that an entire year later, I actually took part and purchased something that they offered. And I said to myself, wow, they had me on their list for a whole year, and they kept nurturing me, nurturing. And then, wow, the time came, and I actually bought something from them. The same thing's going to happen for you. You're going to have people who are going to come in contact with your business, and they might not buy something from you today, but they might buy something from you in September. So if you're not continuing to nurture that lead and feed them information about yourself, you never know if that suspect could have turned into a prospect, could have turned into a repeating customer, okay? So grow your list. Work your list. And I think I talked a little bit about that just now. And lastly, convert. So if you like the cha-cha, then you know what I'm talking about. Convert. But I'm so serious, guys. You know, once you've got the suspects turning into prospects, convert. So what have we talked about? We've talked about re-energizing. We've talked about releasing the negative energy and releasing the positive just long enough to not build monuments in our moments, to go chase new moments, okay? And if you're posting that on social media, I just want you to go ahead and, give me my tag and let a sister get her credit for that quote. I want you to not build monuments in those moments, but go chase new moments, okay? So I know that from seeing who's here and the comments and the questions, I know that beyond today, some of you really can honestly say, you know what, this was so helpful. This got me thinking about a few things, but I got some more questions, and there's some more in-depth information that I need. And you talked about a lead management system and working your list. Honestly, I don't know how to do that. I don't exactly know what I should be posting on social media or how I can take that and cause it to generate revenue. And if that's you, you are the person I want to really invite to be a part of something special, okay? So as we go into the third quarter of the year, I'm putting together what I call the Accelerate Mastermind class. Now, this is going to be, I have to tell you, this is going to be a very small class, but the goal of it is really to keep this conversation going with more detail. Okay, so obviously I couldn't share everything on the line. In all truth, this has gone a little longer than I actually wanted it to, but I got so encouraged, so excited sharing with you all. I just couldn't stop. But as I bring it to a close, there's so much more information I want to share with you guys about uncovering the science of marketing for business growth. So some people use market to just keep their brand consistent, but how do I market for business growth? How do I specifically use it to get my numbers up, to get my revenue up, to get more people buying what I have? If you want to know that, I would like to offer a special discount on my Accelerate Mastermind class that's coming up. Okay, it's going to be starting on Tuesday, July 15th. There are going to be 3 classes. Okay, and those dates are Tuesday, July 15th, 22nd, and 29th. Tuesday, July 22nd, 29th, with the intro on the 15th. Okay, now honestly, typically these classes are anywhere upwards of $500 to $600, but today I'm going to offer this to you all for just $199. That's right, that was a 1. $199 for all 3 mastermind classes. Now, here's an extra benefit that I want you to recognize, that I do a lot of one-on-one coaching, but the one powerful thing about group coaching and masterminding, this is really a mastermind class, is that you get to benefit from all of the synergy that's taking place. And so while I'm answering someone else's question in the class, something hits you and you're like, man, I didn't think to ask that, but I can actually implement that in my business as well. You're getting to meet other entrepreneurs who are learning about your business, who can bring you referrals, and there's just a great synergy that happens that doesn't necessarily happen on the one-on-one setting, which I do love, by the way, also. So the powerful thing that you can look forward to in this Accelerate Mastermind class is the synergy from all of your other classmates. Now, these are going to be teleclasses, much like this. We are going to interact, and I'm going to do a little bit more dialogue with your specific questions in the class, okay? So July 15th, 22nd, and 29th are going to be 1-hour teleclasses, and instead of paying $500 or $600 for this set of classes, $199 is the rate that you can lock in. Now, you don't have to pay for this today. So take a deep breath and say, I won't have that till Friday. No problem. You will receive an email follow-up after this class to just ask you what you thought about it, but it'll also give you a special link to go ahead and secure your seat in the Accelerate Mastermind class, because quite honestly, I do like to keep them small. Another thing that I'm also going to do is sometimes I get asked, well, Tuesday's not good, or that day's not good, or once the class gets full, will you start another class? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. So if those dates didn't work, or you're interested and the class fills up by the time you click the link, no worries. Go ahead and fill out the information anyway. I'm going to personally call you anyway. And so if the first class fills up and we need to do another class, we'll do just that, because we're not going to take any more than about 10 people, honestly, in each class. So go ahead and secure your seat in the Accelerate Mastermind class. Honestly, guys, we're going to really get into the nitty-gritty details and uncover the science of marketing for business growth. So if you know that you can use some assistance in working those plans and those goals, or even putting them together for the next 2 quarters because you're so serious, you got to be serious. This is only for people who are like, I really need my business revenue to grow. I'm so serious about getting more customers and getting the word out about what I do. And guys, this class is for you. I'm so excited because I've done Accelerate before, and the feedback has just always been so phenomenal. And then I taught Accelerate at an event, and they were just blown away, and it was so humbling for me. So I know the power of the information of Accelerate, and it's going to help that Jumpstart stay up, if you will. It's going to help you keep that momentum up, keep the excitement up, and really continue in a very detailed way to move toward the goals that you have. So I want to thank you for joining me tonight, because I know that you've gotten something. And if you have, I want you to post in the group right now and tell us what it is that you got out of tonight. Just one thing. that you can say, this was my takeaway. This is what I'm going to do when I leave here. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go share this. Okay? Now, also know that the replay from tonight will be available. So no worries if you missed something. I'm going to make sure that you have access to the replay. And please also know that outside of Accelerate, we have so many other services that I offer through our marketing and consulting. So please feel free to visit the website, www.tiffanybethia.com. Take a look at what we have to offer. We do a Spirit Soul business class that's every Monday. This is a free, nothing sold, just pure content. Kicking back off again next Monday, July 7th, and every Monday after, just for about 30 minutes. We just cover one topic. So the next one that's coming up is going to be take your social media to the bank. So don't miss that. And if you're interested in this in a discovery session, you want to know how I can possibly help you grow your business or what needs to happen or where you are, give me a call at 410-941-9308, or you can just go to the website again, tiffanybethia.com, fill out the discovery session form. I'll give you a call. I look forward to being a part of your success journey. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is our time. This is your time. Go out there and win. Win, 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 win. Do not stop until you win. Have a good one.